Well, thank you, colleagues, and Mr. Speaker, for granting us this leave on what is a very special day. And it's my honour to introduce, through you, to all members of this legislature, Mr. Speaker, to members of this Assembly, one of Saskatchewan's most dynamic young farmers and advocates. Mr. Speaker, an agricultural ambassador without peer, someone who needs no introduction in this province, but we're going to do it anyway, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, with us today is Maddie Adamson. Can you give us a wave, Maddie? Mr. Speaker, Maddie is the star of the sensational YouTube series Learning About Ag with Maddie. Mr. Speaker, and I trust all have observed the YouTube videos that she has been putting out for some time now. Accompanying Maddie are her parents, her mom Lexi, her father Kyle, and her brother and sometimes co-star Barrett. Mr. Speaker, I'll have an opportunity to visit with Maddie and her family later this afternoon, and I am looking forward to that. I've talked to her on the telephone a number of times. The Adamsons live in Kindersley, Mr. Speaker, but they farm closer to Rosetown, Mr. Speaker. Maddie is a student at Westbury Elementary School in Kindersley, and last year Maddie's class started to study agriculture, Mr. Speaker, and Maddie had an idea, and I would say it's a great idea. She thought that she could give her classmates a first-hand experience in a series of video shots that were taken right on her farm. Mr. Speaker, she also believed that the videos could give a broader audience a better idea of where their food comes, and in particular where that food comes from right here in Saskatchewan. And I can say that Maddie was ever so right about her great idea. Mr. Speaker, the first video was a basic overview of the crops that are grown on the Adamson farm. Wheat, red lentils, flax, yellow peas, maple peas, and canola, many of the crops that we grow across this province, Mr. Speaker. But that was only the beginning, that very first video. Maddie and her production team, which is basically with her here today, that's her mom, her dad, and her sometimes co-star brother, Mr. Speaker, they have taken viewers through every step of our Saskatchewan agricultural process, virtually from January to January, Mr. Speaker, everything that happens that is agricultural related. The most recent post, video number 55, is a commentary on the importance of the Canadian Ag Day, complete with a family history that begins with her great-grandfather coming to Saskatchewan in 1909, Mr. Speaker, and if you watch the video, Maddie makes a reference to how proud she is to be working the same dirt that her grandparents did. Mr. Speaker, Maddie has also popped up at major events. She's been viewed with other celebrities, other Saskatchewan celebrities, Mr. Speaker, like Quick Dick McDick, Mr. Speaker, but she's been at various agricultural events, most notably such as Agribition. At Agribition, she had the good fortune of interviewing a legendary rodeo clown, Dennis Halstead, among a number of other folks, Mr. Speaker, and I'm hoping, actually, after question period, if we have time, that I would take the opportunity to actually video Maddie about her initiative and her 55 videos that she has done advocating for agriculture in Saskatchewan. Mr. Speaker, the people across Saskatchewan and beyond our borders are turning into these videos, and it's absolutely no wonder. Maddie has a sparkling personality, an uncommon poise for someone that is so young. Her videos are engaging, they're fun, and they're extremely informative for everyone that takes the time to watch. They certainly caught my eye a number of months ago, and I've been watching them throughout the course of the past year. I've been tweeting them out, sharing them on Facebook, Mr. Speaker, and I would encourage others to do the very same, because agriculture is our most important industry in Saskatchewan. It's central to the very founding of this province, and it continues to shape our identity each and every day up to and including today. Agriculture drives the economy in this province, Mr. Speaker, and I often say it's the spinal cord of the economy in this province. It plays a huge role in ensuring not only a strong economy in Saskatchewan, but food security here and around the world, and we should applaud any and every effort to teach people about this crucial industry that we have in this great province. Mr. Speaker, we are so grateful for Maddie and her family to have taken on such a monumental project, and we're thankful that it will continue into the future. Maddie has many more stories to tell. Mr. Speaker, I would ask all members to join me in welcoming Maddie Adamson and her family to their Legislative Assembly, and I would ask everyone to wish Maddie A happy belated birthday, as last week she was supposed to come here and due to weather conditions, good old Saskatchewan weather conditions, was unable to make it here, Mr. Speaker. Maddie turned 10 last week. She has accomplished so very much in the first decade of her life, Mr. Speaker. It is going to be absolutely amazing to see what happens in the next decade for Maddie. And Maddie, welcome to your Legislative Assembly, Mr. Speaker. We'd also like to wish Maddie all of the best in what the future has in store for her.
I recognize the Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I just want to rise and join the Premier in welcoming Maddie and Barrett and Lexi. Maddie, can you stand up? We can't see you from behind the clock. Oh, yeah. Well, great to see you, Maddie. Thank you so much for joining us today and for the work you're doing. You know, many in this House had the experience, the joys and challenges at times of growing up on the farm. There's so many kids in our province today that don't get to have that experience. They grow up in the city, don't really know where their food comes from, don't understand what it's like to live on the farm. And I've got a boy who's 10 years old. I like to take him and his little brother out to Uncle Jim's farm every chance we get. But I got to tell the truth, I haven't watched your videos yet. So we got a weekend plan. Me and Abe and Gus, we're going to watch some Maddie videos and spread the word. Thank you so much for all you're doing to make sure every kid in Saskatchewan has a chance to know about life on the farm. Thanks, Maddie.
Recognize the member from Kindersley.
Thanks, Mr. Speaker. I'd ask for leave for an extended introduction.
Leave has been requested for extended introduction. Is leave granted? Carried.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to join with the Premier and the Leader of the Opposition in welcoming the Adamsons to their Legislative Assembly today. This family exemplifies everything that's good about our community. They're honest, hardworking, and they give back to their community. They're very involved with our SJHL team. Kyle's on the board as governor, and they are currently still a billet family, which I think they've had at least one billet for several years and sometimes two. Kyle runs a local Integra Tire in Kindersley with his parents, Karen and Wade. Lexi is one of the busiest mums that I know of. Obviously, she owns and operates her family grain farm in Rosetown, which maybe the land's better there, but the living's better in Kindersley, I think. Maddie and Barrett stay busy as well with school, sports, and dance, and also are obviously very involved in the farm. It's too bad you couldn't make it last year for International Women's Day, but we're glad last week, and we're glad you're here today. I'll have more to say about Maddie in a member statement later on, but for now I'd like all members to join me in welcoming the Adamsons to their legislature.